Sister wives, I've changed my mind. Ysabel should accept David Woolley. He's the right man for Cristin Brown. I used to think sister wives Ysabel Brown would never accept David Woolley, but I think she's come to terms with the fact that he's the right man for her mother, Cristin Brown. The unscripted show, which premiered in 2010, focuses on polygamist patriarch Cody Brown, his 4 wives, and his 18 children. Among his children is 21-year-old Ysabel, his daughter with his 52-year-old third wife, Cristin. In 2021, after 27 years of plural marriage and 5 children together, Cristin was the first of Cody's wives to leave the marriage. The divorce was a long time coming. Cristin was unhappy for a long time and tried to fix the marriage, but Cody seemed ready to move on. By the time Sister Wives Season 19 premiered, 3 of Cody's 4 wives had left him. The polygamist found himself in a monogamous marriage with his 4th wife, 36-year-old Robin Brown. Many of Cody's adult children struggled with the multiple divorces, and that includes Ysabel. When Cristin quickly met a new man, Ysabel struggled to accept him, but I'm glad to report that her feelings seem to have changed. Cristin shocked everyone when she was the first of Cody's wives to walk away from the plural family, but they were even more shocked when she quickly started dating a new man. During Sister Wives Season 19, a newly single Cristin began dating again. She made an online dating profile and started going out on dates. I was impressed by Cristin's decision to reopen her heart again after being hurt by Cody. Cristin hadn't been dating very long before she met David, a widower and father of 10. She went on her first date with David and confessed to the cameras that it had gone well. It was pretty cool, as a fan, to be there for the beginning of Cristin and David's relationship, though the moment was less entertaining for Cristin's children. Several of Cristin's children were concerned by how quickly the relationship was going, including Ysabel. The first few times Cristin's children met David were awkward, to say the least. During Sister Wives Season 19, David came to a family dinner at Cristin's house. "Some of my kids are great with David," Cristin told the cameras. "Some of my kids are, on the fence a bit." Her son, 26-year-old Peyton Brown, kicked off the awkwardness by purposely calling him Richard instead of David. 28-year-old Aspen Brown confessed, "I am surprised by how fast things are going." Aspen also talked about how difficult it was to see her mother be affectionate with a man other than Cody. Stressing her discomfort about her mother's PDAs, Ysabel said, "I'm not totally familiar with her kissing somebody else. I would assume that, over time, Cristin's children have grown more used to seeing her mother affectionate with David. I understand Ysabel's reservations. It must be challenging seeing her mother move on so quickly after divorcing her father." Though her concerns were valid, it was time Ysabel realized that David had been great to her mother. "I've often lamented Cristin should have been single longer before marrying David, but she didn't decide to meet David so early. I think it would have been a huge mistake to turn away a good man because of timing." David makes Cristin happy, and the Sister Wives star deserves to have her children on board. Ysabel Brown had always been her mother's biggest cheerleader. When Cristin finally left Cody, Ysabel stood by her side, supporting her in ways that Cody never had. But if there was one thing Ysabel hadn't expected, it was just how quickly another man would enter their lives: David Woolley. At first, Ysabel wasn't sure what to think of him. She had spent years watching her mother be disregarded, belittled, and dismissed by her father. Cody had never prioritized Cristin, never truly loved her the way she deserved, and Ysabel had seen the hurt it caused firsthand. But that didn't mean she was ready to see another man in her mother's life so soon. Change was hard, and trust, that was even harder. She had spent so many years believing in the ideal of her family, even when cracks began to form. It was a painful realization to accept that her parents' marriage had never been what she thought it was. That was a betrayal she was still healing from, and suddenly, here was David, stepping in like he belonged. At first, Ysabel kept her distance. It wasn't that David had done anything wrong, she just wasn't sure how to process it all. He was warm, charming, and clearly adored her mother, but Ysabel wasn't ready to believe that everything could be so simple. Love hadn't been simple for her family before. Why would it be now? But as time went on, she began to see it, really see it. Cristin was happy, genuinely happy, and that was something Ysabel hadn't seen in years. There was a lightness to her mother now, a glow that hadn't been there even when they had first moved to Flagstaff. The stress, the exhaustion, the constant battle to be seen by Cody, it had all melted away. In its place was a woman who was finally living, finally choosing herself. And David was at the center of it. He wasn't just there for Cristin. He was there for all of them. He made an effort with the kids, he respected their boundaries, and most of all, he didn't try to replace Cody. He understood that trust had to be earned, not demanded. And that was new. Ysabel started noticing the little things. How he made Cristin laugh effortlessly, how he looked at her with admiration rather than obligation. How he listened to her, really listened, and made her feel important in ways Cody never had. She had spent so much of her life watching her mother fight for scraps of affection. It was jarring to see her in a relationship where she wasn't begging to be loved. Then came the moment Ysabel knew she had to change her mind. It was a simple evening, just a quiet night at home. Cristin had made dinner, something she used to do for the entire Brown family, but now did out of joy rather than duty. Ysabel sat at the table, watching as David helped with dishes, cracking jokes with Woolley, effortlessly fitting into the rhythm of their lives without trying to control it. Cristin looked at him, and Ysabel saw something she had never seen in her mother before: security. Not the kind that came from obligation, but the kind that came from being truly cherished. That was when it hit her. David was the right man for Cristin. Not because he was perfect or because he had swooped in to save the day, but because he treated her like she deserved to be treated, with respect, with love, with kindness. And suddenly, Ysabel found herself feeling something unexpected: relief. Relief that her mother had found something real. Relief that she wouldn't have to watch Cristin break herself apart just to keep a marriage alive. Relief that maybe, just maybe, love didn't have to be as painful as it had been in their family. So she made a choice. She let David in. It wasn't immediate. It wasn't effortless. But it was real. She started talking to him more, asking questions, sharing stories. She let herself see him not as an intruder, but as a man who truly cared. And the more she did, the more she realized that David wasn't just some rebound or passing phase. He was here for the long haul. And he was exactly what her mother needed. One evening, as Cristin and David sat outside watching the sunset, Ysabel joined them. She didn't say much at first, just observed. The way David held Cristin's hand without hesitation, the way he looked at her like she was the most important person in the world. And, for the first time, Ysabel didn't feel uneasy about it. She turned to her mom and smiled. "He's bid for you," she said simply. Cristin's eyes widened in surprise, then softened with emotion. "I think so too," she whispered. David, who had been quiet, gave Ysabel a grateful smile. He didn't press, didn't make a big deal out of it. He just nodded, as if he understood how much those words meant. And in that moment, Ysabel knew she had made the right decision. She had spent so much time protecting her mother, worrying about her, fearing that she would fall into another cycle of hurt. But David wasn't Cody, and Cristin wasn't the woman she had been in her marriage. This was different. This was love. And, for the first time in a long time, Ysabel felt like her mother was truly free. David Woolley wasn't just the right man for Cristin. He was the man who had shown her what real love looked like. And for that, Ysabel was grateful. She had changed her mind. And she was okay with that.